You are drinking 10 liters of water in 1 hour, not sipping, consuming. Your stomach is already distended past the point of discomfort. 2. 5 kilograms of fluid pressing against your diaphragm, your liver, the lower lobes of your lungs. You feel full in a way that has no name in ordinary experience. Your body doesn't know this is a challenge. It treats it like an emergency. Here's what happens, minute by minute. Under normal conditions, your kidneys, 2 fist-sized organs sitting against the back wall of your abdomen, filter roughly 125 milliliters of blood per minute. They are extraordinarily precise instruments. They measure the concentration of solutes in your plasma and respond by either retaining water or expelling it. The hormone vasopressin, released by your pituitary gland, is their primary signal. High vasopressin means hold water. Low vasopressin means release it. Your kidneys can excrete, at maximum, about 800 to 1 milliliters of free water per hour. That is their ceiling. You just swallowed 10 times that amount. That contract is now broken. In the first 10 minutes, your stomach is doing something it was never architected to do. Hold nearly 3 liters of liquid at once. Its walls stretch beyond the normal 1-liter capacity, triggering stretch receptors that send distress signals up the vagus nerve to your brainstem. Nausea arrives not as a feeling, but as a reflex, your body attempting to reverse what has already happened. You may vomit. If you do, you are lucky. If you don't, the fluid begins moving into your small intestine, where the intestinal lining, optimized for rapid absorption, starts pulling water into your bloodstream at a rate your cardiovascular system was not expecting. By 20 minutes, your blood volume is expanding measurably. Your heart, which normally pumps a precise 5 liters per minute through a calibrated system of pressure and resistance, is now pushing against elevated venous return. It responds the only way it can. It beats faster, and it beats harder. Your blood pressure rises. This feels deceptively like alertness, a mild flush, a sense of clarity, the feeling that something is happening. Something is. The critical event begins quietly, somewhere around the 30-minute mark. Your blood sodium concentration, normally maintained between 135 and 145 millimoles per liter with extraordinary precision, begins to fall. Sodium is not just a mineral, it is the primary determinant of the electrical potential across every cell membrane in your body. Your neurons fire because sodium rushes in. Your heart contracts because sodium and potassium move in opposition. Every muscular event, every synaptic transmission, every beat of your cardiac muscle depends on sodium existing at the right concentration in the fluid surrounding your cells. As your plasma becomes diluted, that concentration drops. This condition has a name, hyponatremia. It is, in plain language, a drowning of the blood. At 40 minutes, the water you've absorbed begins to obey a law your body cannot negotiate around: osmosis. Water moves from areas of low solute concentration to areas of high solute concentration. Your blood is now the low concentration environment. Your cells, which still contain their normal sodium load, are the high concentration environment. Water floods inward. Your cells begin to swell. Most cells in your body have some tolerance for this. Your brain cells do not. The skull is a fixed volume. There is nowhere for swollen tissue to go. At the 1-hour mark, your brain is pressing against the inner surface of your skull. This is cerebral edema, intracranial pressure rising as neurons engorge with fluid they cannot expel. You feel it as a headache unlike any you have had before. Not localized, not pulsing, but a total pressure, a feeling that your head is being inflated from the inside. Then the headache becomes confusion. You cannot track a sentence. You cannot remember what you were doing. Your frontal lobe, the seat of planning, decision-making, and the recognition that something is wrong, is the first region to lose coherence as pressure disrupts its blood supply. Here is the counterintuitive moment. Your body, recognizing the drop in sodium, attempts a correction. Your adrenal glands release aldosterone to instruct the kidneys to retain sodium. But retaining sodium means retaining more water, which worsens the dilution problem in the short term. Simultaneously, your hypothalamus, detecting the blood volume expansion, suppresses vasopressin to expel water. But your kidneys, working at their maximum excretion ceiling of roughly 1 liter per hour, simply cannot keep pace. The correction mechanism is anatomically too slow for the rate of insult. Your body is doing everything right. It is losing anyway. By 90 minutes without intervention, the clinical picture is dire. Seizures become likely as cortical neurons, deprived of stable sodium gradients, begin firing uncontrollably. An emergency physician seeing you at this moment would find a sodium level potentially below 120 millimoles per liter, a level associated with cerebral herniation. The brainstem beginning to be pushed through the base of the skull as edematous tissue above it swells with nowhere to expand. Blood panels would show diluted creatinine, suppressed osmolality, and urine that is almost pure water. The kidneys are working. They were never the problem. The timeline was. It held on longer than any system should have. But it was never designed for this. Not everyone dies from acute water intoxication. The outcome hinges on rate of consumption more than total volume, on body mass, on whether vomiting occurred early, and critically, on how fast sodium is corrected in a hospital setting, a process that must itself be done slowly, because correcting hyponatremia too quickly causes its own form of neurological destruction, osmotic demyelination syndrome, where the myelin sheath insulating your neurons strips away as the brain's fluid balance swings violently back. There are documented deaths from water intoxication in hazing rituals, radio station contests, endurance events. There are survivors who received hypertonic saline infusions in time and left the ICU neurologically intact. The margin between those two outcomes is not heroism or weakness, it is minutes. If you survive and receive treatment, your sodium corrects over 24 to 48 hours under strict monitoring. Brain swelling recedes, confusion lifts, kidney function, if it was transiently impaired, typically returns within days. The headache fades. Most damage, caught in time, is reversible. The brain is plastic. The kidneys resilient, the heart forgiving. What you carry forward, if anything, is the knowledge that your body is always compensating, always negotiating, always spending reserves you didn't know you had. Water is not benign. It is the medium in which life exists, which means it is also the medium in which life can dissolve. You are, at baseline, 60% water, and that number has a tolerance measured in fractions. The thing that sustains you, in sufficient excess, becomes the exact mechanism of your undoing.